What they've done is they've paired me up with a neonatologist in Florida, and we're writing an article together about how to improve counseling and how parents and pediatricians can better understand each other in this moment. And so we're collaborating on this article. On my half of the article, I'm saying that statistics about the ability of children that are presented now are okay, but and should continue to be presented, even though we didn't like them, but their purpose is clear. But I think we also need to talk about quality of life of the child, which is harder to express in a simple, fast way, in the way in which these statistics based on testing that's done at 18 to 22 months can be done. And then with this, also this question about quality of life, it's especially important to us because it was the one reason that we might have thought about not providing treatment. If we had known that our child would suffer badly, if somebody would tell us that that's the sort of thing where we would consider not providing treatment. We wanted to have our child in the family regardless of whether he would be disabled or not. That was our decision, both because of our, just our attitudes and because of our religion. That's what we wanted. But as Dr. Hudak in Florida was talking with me, what is it that would make you actually engage with and understand the pediatricians? And it occurred to me at that point that we really, we actually kind of turned off the doctors. We weren't paying that much attention to what they were telling us, and we didn't engage. We were digging our heels in, and any explanation, we think, at that point, that was centered around statistics would have caused us to dig our heels in even further. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to write this article. In that same editorial, I'm advising doctors to do more to seek out the motivation of parents behind their decisions, not to challenge them or to pick apart their position, but if you know why the parents are concerned about a particular aspect of their child's life, then you can bring them more resources to give them that kind of information, and you'll get closer to informed consent that way. In our case, our concern was about the quality of life of our son. Talking to a birth-to-3 therapist or a pediatric neurologist about what kinds of therapy there are available and what kind of lives these kids live, and also some testimonials, maybe written or even video testimonials from parents of children who have been through this to say, how do you interpret the quality of life of your child, and how do you interpret the quality of life of your own child? And that's something that would have meant a lot to us. Other parents might be motivated by financial concerns, not just about the cost of the care, but then how do you leave enough money in your will for a developmentally disabled adult? And I think a person like that could benefit from a visit from a financial caseworker who could explain, here are the approaches that that parents have taken to that problem. I also think a meaningful question would be to ask which is better, a short goodbye now or a strong possibility of one in a week after you've become more attached to the child. In our case, some parents might say it's better to just say goodbye quickly to reduce the suffering. We would have felt a lot worse about a child not getting a chance. That would have made us feel worse. That's a conversation that needs to be had, even though it's kind of dark. And then, lastly, to suggest talking about the baby by name during this conversation, if there is one. We had picked out the name Gabriel. We knew he was going to be a boy, so we picked out the name Gabriel. But he was talked about in this antenatal counseling, both of them, as a condition, not as a person, which Miri, Miri felt pretty strongly about that. Just because she was adamant that she was the one with the condition, not the child. The baby was doing fine. Preterm labor is a mother's condition, it is, or cervical incompetence, depending upon what which it is. And of course, and those two conditions are actually kind of blurry as to which is which. So.